What's going on, Steph?
All good, all good. Little bit hectic, but that's life, I guess. What's
Yep,
up with you, man?
yep. Oh, nothing. Just still reminiscing on those Super Bowl commercials from this year.
It's such an America thing. The Super Bowl ads, they
Are
just
you
get
saying that you
filtered.
didn't watch the Super Bowl, Steph?
What's the Super Bowl? I see some
Well,
of it filtered through in my Twitter
right,
feeds, LinkedIn feeds because of the
right.
marketing peeps, but if I would be a normal person living in Belgium, I would probably not be aware of this thing happening in the first place.
Well, that's really surprising because I thought that everybody revolved around us here in the States and followed every
It,
single thing we do. So that's pretty
it's
shocking.
it's almost true, but it's more we love your politicians that's really like then we can really that's the Super Bowl for us. But
Yep.
the actual sports, I mean, we have soccer.
Yep. Well, I'm going to introduce you to a little bit of a Super Bowl commercial. This have you seen Super Bowl commercials in the past? Are you familiar with kind of what's going on and what they're how they're different than normal advertising throughout the year?
Yeah, I'm well aware of like that it's a huge spend, but also a huge event, and that it's this thing for big brands to do something very special. So I know that context, but
Yeah,
consciously I did not click any of the links that were spammed on my feed because you
nice,
told me not to watch anything. So
great,
it's
great,
all I've been super excited about seeing them.
great. Well, I want to introduce our special guest for this episode, which you didn't see coming, I'm sure. And that special guest is Bing Chat. So are you ready to chat with some AI? Because AI has been
Oh my God.
a consistent flow throughout our show up to this point. Our logo was created with AI. Our Sonic logo was created with AI, and now it is time to get AI's input on these Super Bowl ads. So we're going to have a
Of
conversation
course.
where I'm going to give my thoughts, you're going to give your thoughts, and Bing Chat is going to give their thoughts, and we're going to see how this goes.
Oh wow. Finally it's happening. The robots are here.
The robots are here. The robots are here. All right. So,
Let's go. Let's go.
uh, those of you who are not familiar with Bing Chat, it's a version of Chat GPT, but a little better, or maybe a lot better. But essentially, you can have conversations with your computer. In fact, I had a little conversation with the computer with my daughter today, who's 2, and that was really fun for her to change
Wow.
the subject constantly and confuse this guy or girl, whatever they them. I don't know what you call it, AI
Don't go there. Just don't go there.
chatbot.
It's too early to do this.
All right. So can you? Well, actually, I'm going to reshare my screen because I need to include audio here.
Sure, go ahead.
And all right, can you see my screen?
Yes,
All
yes,
right, you can
yes.
see this little chat right here. I got him
Yeah.
in creative mode, so we're going to see
Oh,
how that changes things up a little bit. And we're just going to go through as many ads as we can get through. If we don't get them all, we're not going to get all of the ones from I wrote an article on my Substack, brandingbullshit.com, titled 2023 Super Bowl ad winners and losers. And I rated every single one of them, but then I did a little special blurb about the top 5 best and top 5 worst of this year, and I think some of my picks are pretty controversial, and we're gonna go into that. But before I show you the ad, before we start talking about the first ad, we're gonna ask Bing Chat here what they thought about these ads compared to previous years. So, what did you think about the 2023 Super Bowl ads compared to previous years?
I've
See what he has to say.
it's probably got a better, more informed opinion than me. So this show is already 10 times better now that we have
See,
an AI bot in
that's
it.
I might actually have my own podcast with just Bing Chat.
That's actually a great idea. Me and the
uh,
robot chatting. If it has, it probably has audio already somewhere. That would be
yeah,
cool.
I think so. Yeah, I think
Okay,
so.
what does it say?
All right. I think the 2023 Super Bowl ads were very entertaining and diverse, featuring many
Mm.
celebrities, musicians, and pop culture references. According to some sources, the 2023 ads were aimed at women, sparked consumer demand, and had more director diversity than previous years. Some of the funniest ads were from Google Pixel, Doritos, T-Mobile, and Squarespace. What did you think of them? And that is
Mm.
where we're gonna start here. I didn't know it would ask me that question, and we're not gonna
You're not gonna
do it.
answer it.
We're not going to answer it
Poor,
for
poor
them, but we'll
AI.
answer it for you. We will answer it for you guys out there. So, all right. So we're going to watch our first Super Bowl ad here. And I want you to tell me what you think. Let's see here. Get out of here. How do I get you out of here? I was able to see that little thing before. I don't know why
Did
it's doing this.
Microsoft have like a Super Bowl ad or not?
Not that I know of. Oops.
Ah, because I was thinking like Bing chat should probably say like Microsoft's ad were actually also pretty cool because they're Microsoft owned, right? But yeah, they didn't
They
do
are
that.
Microsoft owned. Yes, Bing is on its way back. People are saying we're going to be bigging things from now on, but
Bye
I don't
bye
know if I believe
Google,
it. All
bigging
right,
things.
here is our first advertisement, and we're going to get your thoughts on this and get Bing Chat's thoughts on this. It is, well, I'm not going to tell you the brands. Try not to look at the little thing up front, and and we'll just play it.
I'll always take care of you. Hey, little bear bear. You gonna be a good boy?
Don't worry, darling, about the rest of our
To
lives.
have from this day forward.
Through thick and thin,
Come on, bear.
I'll be there by your side.
Oh.
I'm gonna love you forever.
Hey, bear.
Yeah. I'll be there. You don't have to worry.
Mm.
All right, Steph, what'd you think?
I love the music. That's
Uh-huh.
just that's what's his name again?
Oh, I don't know.
James Bradley? No, I don't know. But I was like instantly swept away by the music. So points for that. I don't know this brand, but even if I had known it, there was not a single clue in the ad for what it was. So very bad points on, distinctive cues, fluid devices, whatever you want to
Yep.
call them. They
Yep.
were just not there. Emotional storytelling, yes, that was there. I don't know if I would kept watching if you didn't force me in this format. So I'm not sure if it's like super attention grabbing or maybe a bit
Right.
long. But yeah,
Right.
some points for telling a good story and using good music, but very bad points for not showing me what brand I need to buy when I do feel
Yes.
this.
I agree, Steph. In fact, I didn't watch this whole commercial during the live showing of the Super Bowl. I was having a conversation with my wife, probably about the commercial right before it, I'm sure. And then I
You
looked
must
over
be
at this.
fun with to watch.
Yeah, yeah, right. And then I looked at the very end, and I saw the ad. But I remember thinking I did not know what that was for until that very end there, and I was not paying enough attention. And so I think you're
Mm.
exactly right. Let's see what our friend Bing Chat has to say.
Go Bing, go Bing
Hold on.
Chatty.
Don't want to show you that yet.
We should create our own AI chatbot called the
There you
Duck
go.
or something, and then we could do like let's ask the duck. That would be cool. And it would be like not just this version, but more of like a swearing version. Like this is really fucking bullshit. I hate this crappy show. But yeah, let's start with this one.
Yep. I think that would
Dun,
be
dun,
fun.
dun,
I,
dun,
I do think that'd
dun.
be fun. All right.
I'm actually
Let's see
using
what they say.
some AI for creating ads, so
Oh, see?
it's interesting. It's not always that good, but
Yeah. Yeah, there's
Cute
been a
and
lot of flaws
touching.
with this thing that I found. But I actually got access to the Bing version today for the first time, and I can tell you it is way better than ChatGPT's version. And then I was
Yeah.
using a UChat version, which was a little more up to date than the ChatGPT website version. And let me tell you, this one blows it out of the water. All right, I think the 2023 Farmer's Dog Super Bowl ad was very cute and touching. It showed the bond between a woman and her dog from puppyhood to old age, and how she always took care of him with fresh dog food from the farmer's dog. The ad was a love letter to dogs and their owners, and it also offered 50% off the first order of fresh dog food. I didn't see that part. It
Wow.
was one of the most popular ads during among U.S. viewers, ranking 7th out of 51 according to USA Today's ad meter. What ranking do you think I gave this ad, Steph? In
So
terms
the
of the
rankings,
top
1
5
and
best or
5?
top 5 worst?
Top 5 worst. Yes, I mean, you're all about creating ads that are linked to brands. So
I
this
am.
is if this would be an assignment for school, you're flunked, as they say. So very bad.
Yes,
Worst.
that is correct. It's not the worst. We're going to watch the worst a little bit later. I'm going through the most controversial picks that I had this year first.
Yeah.
And this one, to me, I did an entire rating system. I tried to be as objective as I possibly could. And this one ranked as the second worst Super Bowl ad of this year's Super Bowl for that very reason, Steph, that you mentioned, and some others as well that I don't really remember at this point. There wasn't a category entry point, I don't believe, emphasized as well. There are some other issues with it. And so second worst. All right, so let's move on to the next ad here and go from there, see what it has to say, see what you think about this one. All right.
I'll make this quick, Mr. Peanut. I know you got some brownies to ruin.
Mr. Peanut, why are you dressed like it's 5 recessions ago?
Mr. Peanut. Mr. Peanut.
Mr. Peanut, what do you eat at parties? People?
I'm a big fan. I love your work in Thai food.
We can all agree there's rich, and then there's haven't worn pants in 100 years rich.
Wow, that was brutal. Wish planners had just killed me off again.
All right, Steph, what do you think?
Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm a sucker for mascots. If you don't already know that, I mean, I'm obsessed. I have books about them. I'm building a documentary on them. So, I mean, obviously,
Wow.
big points for, yeah, we could talk about that later. Big points for the mascot. I also like, I'm actually reading this interesting book called Hit Makers, and they talk a lot about what makes it like something click and makes it a hit. Familiarity is one of them. And I think what's very smart then is that they're using a familiar concept, like a roast TV show, but you know, insert their brand in a fun way. So I think it's a very smart play. People instantly know what to expect, and that gives this, I think, dopamine hit, which is very good. Yeah, I mean, overall, good points. It was a little less like emotionally sweeping as the one before, so definitely a lot of contrast, but I think this one will grab the attention and build brand linkage. So yeah, definitely a better one.
All right, great. So let's get out of there and see what our friend says.
It's interesting that in the last thing you asked it, that for example, the ad you rated very badly, it said that, what was it? It was you know, one of the most 7th out of 51.
Very cute. Oh yeah, 7th out of 51 on USA Today's ad meter, which I actually remembered it being number 1 on their list. So I was confused when it said 7th. I don't know if that's actually correct or not.
But I'm wondering what that metric is. Is it how long people are watching the ad? How many people have seen the ad? I'd love to know that to understand how effective it was.
So I don't know the exact details, but I do know that they interviewed some people, and they might have even done some emotional tracking, some like facial tracking, something along those lines, to see what kind of emotions were going on there. I could be wrong about that. And I think there's some merit to that emotional tracking stuff, as long as you're also paying attention to those fluent devices and distinctive brand assets and making sure that it's really well branded. I think that a Super Bowl ad that has really good distinctive assets, but really low on emotion, maybe some facial recognition software or whatever says that it's not a great ad. I think you got to take the distinctive asset side of that thing and assume that it is probably a really good ad, even if you don't have that emotion. If you can have both, that's great, but it's really hard to achieve. I think Budweiser's Clydesdales do the best job of that, where those horses are really emotional, but it's also really well branded for Budweiser. Okay,
dude,
so
this was sorry to interrupt you, but it was produced by Vayner Media. Okay,
it was yes, which is another reason why this is a controversial pick for me. I cannot stand Gary Vee. And speaking of the Clydesdales, actually, Gary Vee completely dropped the ball. He took one of the greatest fluent devices in Super Bowl history, created a Super Bowl ad last year with the Clydesdales, and just dropped the ball. From the first second to the end, you barely even knew it was a Clydesdale. There was no branding whatsoever, hardly at all, until the very end. A really bad ad in a lot of ways. But I also want to point out with this ad that I did not think it was funny. And I actually have a really big pet peeve with this ad, which is I cannot stand when advertisers think we're going to somehow remember an inside joke from 2 or 3 years ago. Right. It said something like, "You're going to kill me off again," or whatever. Apparently they did. Or I remember them doing that vaguely a few years ago in the Super Bowl. But it was just a stupid publicity stunt no one liked, and it was just weird.
It's meta advertising, which I really don't. It's like advertising for advertisers. So
exactly. Yeah.
We and the boys gonna laugh with this.
Yeah. The arrogance of any brand to think that someone's going to remember a commercial from last week, much less 3 years ago, is just insane to me. But despite that, that's a personal issue. I ranked it pretty high, but let's see what our friend says. I think the 2023 Mr. Peanut Super Bowl ad was funny and clever. It featured a roast of Mr. Peanut by several comedians, such as blah, blah, blah. The ad was produced by Vayner Media and was part of a campaign to promote Planters snacks. It was one of the least popular ads among U.S. viewers, ranking 49th out of 51, according to USA Today. And guess where I ranked this ad, Steph? 5 best, 5 worst? What do you think?
5 best.
What number do you think I ranked it at?
Well, definitely not first, as I heard your beef with it. So 4 or 5-ish.
I ranked this ad third, and it's not first, not because of my beef, just because there were 2 ads that we may or may not get to that were way better than the Peanuts ad from a lot of different aspects. But that is, we're going to keep moving along here, trucking along, and go on to our next ad, which is, well, you will tell me where you think it's going to be ranked here in a second. And I'm not going to, please do not, if you're a viewer or you, Steph, do not look at which brand is being advertised. This is like a really interesting case study of, well, you'll see.
I'll put my hand in the left corner, so I don't know. Okay. I haven't seen it yet. Okay.
Here we go.
I don't know what to say, really. We're in the dark right now, and we can stay here, or we can fight our way back to the light. 1 inch at a time. The inches we need are everywhere around us. They are in every break of the game, every second. On this team, we tear ourselves and everyone around us to pieces for that inch. We claw with our fingernails for that inch, because we know that's gonna make the difference between winning and losing. Now, I can't make you do it. You gotta look at the person next to you. Now, I think you're going to see someone who will go there.
First of all, Steph, I'm going to pause it right here. What category at all is this ad for? Can you tell, like, what is even being advertised in this ad up to this point?
I saw one shot where she had a drink, so I'm guessing it's
I didn't realize there was a shot earlier.
But it was like super short, but I felt I had to watch out because it's like an Easter egg hunt. But if I would be watching this as like on the side with popcorn and beer, I would never have seen it. So no, spirits, but no, I wouldn't have seen it.
All right, let's finish this thing, and
you got to look at someone who will go that inch with you, because when it comes down to it, you're going to do the same for them.
Al Pacino.
That's a team, ladies and gentlemen. Now, what are you gonna do?
My God.
Remy Martin. So Remy
Do you
Martin
know
is
where
a
the
cognac.
speech is? Do you know where the speech is from?
I do know where the speech is from. In
Okay,
fact,
yeah.
let's check it out right now.
It's so good. It's so good. I'm like, yeah. I love this. This is one of the best speeches
and
ever.
everyone else around us to pieces for that inch. We claw with our fingernails for that inch. Because we know when we add up all those inches, that's gonna make the fucking difference between winning and losing. Between living and dying. I'll tell you this, in any fight, it's the guy who's willing to die who's gonna win that inch. And I know if I'm gonna have any...
All right, we're going to pause it there
Yeah.
because we don't have time to go through the whole thing. But clearly, this poor tennis star should not be acting at all. And second, you should definitely not be acting out a scene that is so well acted by one of the greatest actors of all time. Even touching this thing, even if everything was great about this ad, the fluent devices were perfect, you know, every shot was amazing. And then you had Serena Williams acting in a scene that was originally performed by Al Pacino. That is automatically going to take away so many points because everyone is going to counter argue with that ad. They're going to say, this is stupid. What is she doing here? This makes no sense. Now, those are the people that know the speech. Of course, a lot of people don't know the speech.
Yeah.
My theory is that the creators of this ad didn't know the speech until they decided, what are some football speeches that maybe we could find? And you know, it is the Super Bowl. Let's just find a football speech and then we'll you know, do that with our ad. And then they found this one. That's my personal theory, that they've never seen this movie and they've never seen this speech before. Because, you know, creatives don't necessarily watch American football. It's not one of our favorite it's one of mine, but it's not one of most people's favorite pastimes. But just look at the ad, or that's actually the wrong thing.
Yeah, but
let's look at this ad again.
It's horrible.
You got football players, and then you got dancers for some reason,
stay here,
which makes no sense.
Or we can fight our way back to the light. Everywhere
horses,
around
which
us.
obviously like Budweiser, Clydesdales
every
are actually a thing at the
second.
Super Bowl.
On
Really
this
dumb
team,
decision.
we tear
especially if you're
ourselves
in the
and
same
everyone
category
around us
as
to
alcohol,
pieces
as Budweiser.
for that inch.
You have
We claw make the
chefs
difference between
here.
winning.
Like it's just completely incoherent as a storyline. It just makes no sense. None of the like clips are matching each other. And the worst thing about this ad for me is guess which other Super Bowl ad Serena Williams starred in at this year's Super Bowl.
I have no idea, man.
You probably have no idea. Michelob Ultra. So another alcoholic beverage within the alcoholic beverage category. She literally was in a different alcoholic beverage Super Bowl ad, not only this year, but last year, Michelob also had her in one of their Super Bowl ads.
Crazy.
So just from every single level, this ad, we're not even going to talk to chat, whatever, we're not going to worry about him right now.
It's the worst.
It's awful. And then once I already ranked this in my article, I saw a great commentary on it that also was interesting, which is somehow you can be your best if you drink alcohol, which could be a problematic message for a lot of people, that you're going to be a better person and you're going to be, you know, more active and you're going to be this and that and stronger and more of a team if you just get drunk with each other. You know, there's just so many issues with this ad that I don't even know where to start, honestly.
It's way up there. I mean, I don't get it. I really don't get what these people are thinking when they make this stuff, because it must have cost a shit ton of money. So yeah.
Well, to me it feels like they had their little ideal customer. They had their like perfect, you know, target consumer who liked this and that and whose name was whatever, and they decided to create a commercial geared around this specific ideal person. And I think that's one of the huge mistakes that they made as well, where they tried to narrow this into whatever they thought their person liked. Maybe their person really loves Gary Vee, probably. Maybe their person really maybe they're a frat bro. I don't know who they are, but it's so clear that they're trying to just like pigeonhole their alcoholic cognac into whatever they think that this lofty persona should be. And so no surprise here, Steph, this is the absolute worst ad on my list from the Super Bowl this year. Now let's finish with the last two ads, which are the I'll just change the order here. These are my I think actually this first one is I think number 4. So let's look at, for sake of time, let's look at this my number 1 pick for this year's Super Bowl.
All right.
Check it out.
Open your eyes.
Think of the one place you've always wanted to see.
This is where our magic comes from.
They say if you dream a thing more than once,
Please, please, please.
it's sure to come true.
Everything you see exists together in the great circle of life.
There were stories about what happened.
It's true. All of it.
In every job that must be done, there is an element of fun.
I told you she was tricky.
Life is full of possibilities. What do you want to be remembered for?
The world is in our hands, and we gotta do something with it.
I just want to say a word of thanks to all the artists, the workers, and all of you. The young and the young in heart. You helped make this dream come true.
Aww.
What'd you think of this ad, Steph?
I mean, they have the whole visual universe. It triggers so much nostalgia. So I mean, it's Disney, for heaven's sake. So it's working. I wouldn't say, like, as a branding or marketing person, it's the most creative or out of the box thinking.
Right.
But
right.
I mean, as just a good solid ad and reminder of what Disney is about, up there.
Yep. I think that this ad just hits every mark. And what I thought was really beautiful is or perfect is that they have these different movies, and maybe you're thinking, okay, this is DreamWorks possibly, or this is some other like brand that makes, if you don't really know who, that these people are really strongly associated with Disney. But what's so genius about this is right here, you got the Magic Kingdom as a distinctive asset, even Mickey ears right there. You got Mickey throughout this entire thing. Like, they keep going back to Mickey. They have a drawing. They have a drawing here. I mean, just throughout the entire thing, they just keep going back and back and back to everything that makes them so distinctive. And then at the very end, you got get out of here, Zoom. Why are you showing me? All right, hold on.
No, but
okay,
just wanted to say, sorry, I just wanted to say one thing that I really also think is smart in this ad is they're showing real fans in real life situations.
Right.
It makes the brand feel a lot more authentic. It's not this like the first ad we saw was beautifully done. The cinematography or whatever you want to call it was like one coherent story. Here they're mixing different styles, different everything, but it feels so much more like authentic than the first one. I know that's a disgusting word, but still it works.
Yeah. And then at the very end, of course, you got this beautiful,
You helped make this dream come true.
beautiful Sonic logo right here. I mean, like, it makes me tear up. Like, when I see good branding, it just really does make me tear up sometimes. Anyway, that's a weird tick of mine, I guess. But this is a genius Sonic logo coming in at the very end. If you're in the other room getting snacks, you hear that, done. You know who it is, right? There's no questions asked. Whether you consciously realize, oh, I just heard a Disney ad, or it just sits back in the back of your brain, that can really like sink its teeth into you, and I think that's a reason why this is a really great example. Let's also look at another one. I thought that I had, let me just see here. my second favorite. Here it is. Let's check out this one right here.
The Busch Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. 3 things are required in the great outdoors: food, drink, and shelter.
Hello, I'm Sarah McLaughlin. For just dollars a day, you can help helpless animals find shelter.
Busch. Wrong shelter, Sarah. Also, that's a wolf. Head for the mountains.
All right, what do you think of this one, Steph?
Yeah, I love it. I love the quick pace. I love the quick introduction of the product, keeping it light, funny, engaging. Yeah, I mean, it's just a good ad. Nothing bad to say about it.
Yep. Yeah. This is my number 2. The Busch guy is actually a resurrected asset from what I can tell. I hadn't seen him in a while, but and I don't even know if I actually ever saw him on live TV, but I was looking into an agency one time and looking at their work, and I saw him there. It was one of the guys at the agency wrote a book that I read, so I was looking at their work, and so they've used the Busch guy before with the Busch Sonic logo. I think they really need to lean into this. I don't know why they don't all the time. The only potential downside for this one that I see is the Busch guy is kind of hard to rework for several different category entry points, right? So if you wanted to put the Busch guy into a category entry point of like, I don't know, like mowing the lawn or something. I drink beer, after I mow the lawn, right? Something like that. Then he's going to be a little weirder to put him in there. Anything indoors, going to a bar, and trying to, instill that category entry point of what are you going to drink when you're at a bar. That's going to be really difficult with an outdoorsman, but you could make it work if you were creative enough.
It's your creative constraint. Actually, I think it would lead to even funnier ideas.
Very possible.
That's the whole thing. I think like a lot of times when we're briefing agencies or doing ads, we're so afraid to put in constraints, but these types of constraints, this is the person to work with, this is the asset, this is the sound. Actually, I think they create a box for you to do more fun stuff in, but
yeah, that's a really good point. I hadn't thought about that. I think you're dead on with that. And then we'll just watch one more, the last one. I think this was my we already saw those.
The Pringles.
Yes, the Pringles. There it is.
My god,
Don't worry.
This one.
It happens to the best of us.
It does?
Sure it does. It happens to surgeons, judges.
Overruled.
Airport ground crew. Game show contestants.
The Bermuda Triangle.
Megan Trainor. Chess prodigies. Bowlers. Your real father.
Hey, champ.
It even happened to your little cousin Timmy.
Wait, what was that about my father?
That doesn't matter.
Thanks, Grandpa.
Now, get back to the party.
Good. So good.
Yep. Again, you don't have to be clever here. I think that what the best part here is that their packaging clearly is a very strong, distinctive brand asset.
Yeah.
And they implement it into the storyline. I think that's beautiful. Last year there was one very similar with Pringles, same exact concept, which is also good for consistency's sake. But even I think my last one from my favorite ad, or my top ranked ad from last year, was maybe a Lay's. I think it was maybe a Lay's commercial, and it had Paul Rudd and Seth Rogen, and obviously celebrities aren't the best idea for any advertising, but they had that bag in their hands, and they even used it as a device within the story several different times. And I always just love it when people can take something that might seem ordinary, like their packaging, as long as it's distinct, and just incorporate it in fun ways. I think there's something really great about the reason why you want a distinctive asset aside from a logo, for example, alone, is so that you can do these storylines. You can create storylines, and they can be flexible and adaptable, and you can insert them into ads without being weird or like off-putting, and it can just make perfect sense.
No, and it's often based on like something that happened when you put the product in the market. People started maybe happening where the box is empty and they try to grab the last one, and it becomes this like gimmicky thing, but people recognize it because it's part of what happens in real life with this product. Maybe not all the time,
Exactly.
but that's why I think it makes sense and it feels very natural and funny. It's great example.
All right, Steph, we're gonna end this in our last time here. We're gonna end this episode with Al Pacino. What do you think? Should we watch this whole thing? Well, we can't watch the whole thing. We'll start from a certain point, and then we'll just fade out once we finish this thing. All right, here we go.
On this team, we fight for that inch. On this team, we tear ourselves and everyone else around us to pieces.
I have seen this a million times and it just stays golden.
Because we know when we add up all those inches, that's gonna make the fucking difference between winning and losing. Between living and dying. I'll tell you this, in any fight, it's the guy who's willing to die who's gonna win that inch. And I know if I'm gonna have any life anymore, it's because I'm still willing to fight and die for that inch. Because that's what living is. The 6 inches in front of your face. Now, I can't make you do it. You gotta look at the guy next to you. Look into his eyes. Now, I think you're gonna see a guy.
So many old school actors.
I know, right?
See a guy who will sacrifice himself for
this guy's been a douchebag throughout the whole movie, and then he finally becomes a team member.
I remember. I need to rewatch the movie.
Yeah, right? It's a good movie.
It's a good movie.
Either we heal now
as
a team, or we will die as individuals.
The music
That's
is
football,
also.
Guys.
Yeah, right.
That's all it is.
That's advertising, guys.
I know.
That's all it is.
It's a game of inches. Show that logo or distinctive asset in every inch of that screen.
Show the duck.
Every
show
second.
The duck, show the
the
duck.
game of seconds. Advertising, I think. All right.
Wow. What a beautiful ending.
Happy advertising, everyone.
Happy advertising.